now is Teresa Leach from the North Dakota DOT. Good morning, and thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Boy, we are in the heart of this driving season, aren't we?
We sure are.
And, you know, the temperatures are going to be extremely cold. They're forecasting for this weekend. And if you're going to be out and about on the roads, something like this, a winter survival kit, is huge to have. We set out just a few of the highlights of this particular kit. Tell us what we're looking at here.
So this is the winter survival kit. If you're wondering where you can get one, pretty much anywhere online has one. And you can pick and choose kind of what your winter survival kit includes. But the few things I pulled out here are jumper cables. Those are going to help you out if your car's stalled. I really want to point out that triangle on the table. Basically, that's something, a little extra safety precaution you can use. You can set that triangle out about 25 feet away from your car. Especially in the dark, it's helpful. Sure. But when cars are coming along, they see that triangle, it's a little bit more reflective light, and so they know, like, hey, something's going on. I should pull over to the other side and make sure that that person has enough room, especially if you're working on your car outside. It's nice to have that extra safety precaution. And then we also have a flashlight, and then a little air inflator too. I mean, it's not an air compressor, but it will help somewhat.
Exactly. Yeah. If your tire is low, for example, you can get from point A to point B and probably get some help. Now, the other thing there, that yellow and orangish thing, that's a whistle. What would that be used for?
So if you're a long ways away from the road or away from people and your voice is hoarse from already yelling for help, or you can't shout that loud, that whistle is very helpful for making a little extra noise so that it travels a little bit farther too.
That makes sense. I didn't know what the whistle was for. I didn't know if you'd be reffing a basketball game out there and you needed a whistle, but that certainly does make some sense. All right, that's a winter survival kit. That is available, like you say. You can buy them in some box stores. You can go online and order them. It's a great idea to have that in your car.
Yes.
It can be a lifesaver. All right, now, I have lived in North or South Dakota for just about all of my life. I lived a couple of years in Nebraska, but point is, I've lived in winter driving conditions my entire life. But it is a re-education every year when this comes around. And granted, we're in January now, and we've had winter for a while. But what are some tips that you would give to people, whether they've been here for a long time or if they're new to the area?
Number one would be to stay with your vehicle. If you wander away from your vehicle, especially in a blizzard or cold temperatures, trying to look for help, your chances of being found actually are lower than if you stayed with your car. So make sure to stay with your car. Your chances of getting found are a lot better. Another thing I would say is make sure you have a full tank of gas and a fully charged cell phone when you set out on the road. And another thing, if you do get stuck and you're in very cold temperatures, make sure that your exhaust pipe is free from snow. And you can run your engine probably every 15 minutes for every hour. But more than that, I mean, you can adjust, but making sure that that engine is in good shape, and making sure you're not getting that carbon monoxide poisoning. That's why we have that exhaust pipe clear from snow. So make sure of that too. Even though we don't have a lot of snow, if that weather can change in a hurry, and that can be an issue. Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about heavy vehicles. And you describe those as anything bigger than a pickup truck. They can be farm equipment, that can be semis, that can be a lot of things. What are some of the things you want to talk about heavy equipment with us? So heavy vehicles tend to get into more crashes in the winter months. So from October to March, 64% of our heavy vehicles are more likely to get into a crash. That was our 2023 number. And of those heavy vehicle crashes, about 50% of them are just single vehicle crashes. They're not involving another car. Rear end crashes and things like that. Right, and so it's really important to drive, for our heavy vehicle drivers, to drive safely even if other cars aren't around. And about 81% of our heavy vehicle crashes were in rural areas. They weren't even in town. And this makes sense too, and we're down to a minute left here, but a lot of the vehicle accidents happen at intersections. So as you approach an intersection, make sure your vehicle's under control. That's right, yes. All right, where can we find more information? You can find more information at the Vision Zero website, visionzero.org. Yep, right there, or .gov, excuse me. But yeah, and if you are looking for more tips, you can even Google it, ask ChatGPT, all of those fancy things now. So. All right, we thank you for your time. We appreciate it, and safe driving for the rest of the winter. Yes.